Good morning and welcome to RVNTV's Morning Coffee. And you know that RVN prides itself on being feel-good TV. So when you wake up in the morning, a lot of people are watching the news and it's negative, or they're going to Facebook and they're seeing somebody else that's doing all these great things,
Right.
and then they feel bad about themselves. So we like to, here in RVN, bring inspirational things to morning coffee. So I'm so happy to have this guest with me, because that is what he is. Okay, his name
Love
is
it.
John Cawley.
Yep.
And you're the head Inspyr
That's what I like to call myself.
and
yeah.
the founder of Inspyr Gear.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So when did this company start?
Well, officially we started in 2013, actually with T-shirts.
Okay.
Yeah, but we morphed into socks in the middle of 2014.
Okay.
And then we've gone growing from there.
Right. Okay, so you must have a really strong entrepreneurial business background, and you went to Harvard Business School and all that stuff, right?
No, I did not.
Okay, that's
Good
not
one.
the case. That is why I love what you're doing right now. So I want you, I know a little bit about you, but they don't. So
Right.
take me back to whenever your story starts that you want to tell me. Is it 30 years? Is it 20 years? Like, what's your story?
It's a great story. It's a great journey, right? I've been on a journey for quite some time, Krista. But, you know, you just brought up a really good, cool point, right? The whole entrepreneur. So I had my first job in the 5th grade, and you didn't actually know this. Yes, I created my own job. Yeah, well, you know, we used to deliver the paper back in the day, right? And all my buddies had a paper route.
Yeah.
Well, all the routes were taken. So, you know, John, I liked money. I liked, you know, I'd like to make money and go after things in life, right? You got to go after things. So my aunt was a red striper, candy striper at Chestnut Hill Hospital.
Okay.
And my little school that I went to school was right next door to the hospital. So I said, Aunt Carol, can you ask if I can deliver the bulletin, which is now out of business, years ago, I'm talking 1975 this was, 76, and I said, I would like to deliver the bulletin door to door, and maybe I could make some money. That would be, you know, my little job. And I bought the paper from the Daily News guy who actually owned the bulletin for 15 cents. And I would sell it for 17 cents.
Nice.
I'd make 2 pennies, and every day after school, I got my satchel, and I got my little money changer, right? And I'd fill it up, and I'd go to the gift store, I'd get my papers, I'd stick them in, bulletin, and I'd knock on every single door in that hospital till every one of those papers was gone. And if you gave me a quarter and told me to keep the change, I made 8 cents.
Yeah, you could get a lot of candy with it.
Oh, well, fishies were a penny,
Yes, I
so,
know,
right?
I know.
And I always had money in my pocket. So that was the little entrepreneur in me. Little did I know it would morph into me sitting here with you right now.
Exactly.
Because my journey did unfortunately change.
Yeah, what happened? Tell me.
Yeah, well, you know, my background, my father was an alcoholic. My grandparents were alcoholics, unfortunately. And it was tough. It was tough growing up in that environment. I don't wish it upon anybody, I'll be honest with you. But you know, around 1979, 8th grade, you know, is when I started dabbling into alcohol, which, thinking about it now, is just insane, you know. My son's in 7th grade, and I could never imagine that for him now, but here I was every weekend getting people to buy us beer, you know.
Yep.
I even remember where it was. But, you know, unfortunately, it morphed into even more than that.
Yeah.
Through high school, started running with a rough crowd and started dabbling into more things besides alcohol. And, you know, college really wasn't for me. So, you know, I did a couple stints at a community college
Right.
is what I did, you know. And then from there, you know, I got into the trades. I'm actually a stonemason by trade. You know, not to say that, you know, the contractors, you know, are a rough crowd, but, you know, you tend to, you know, sometimes
blue collar.
hit it a little bit harder, you know, and then I could just see my alcoholism and, you know, my drug use getting a little bit worse, you know. It was morphing into more and more, and I was starting to lose a little bit of control of the value in my life. You know, I guess I wasn't regarding myself as maybe not that important. It got bad. It really did. When I was 28 years old, though, down in Sea Isle City, I actually met my wife today, is my wife, and I was still drinking at the time. And, you know, I partied for a while with her, and then we did eventually get married. And the story of, can we go into the story? You know, that story I told you about, how it all came to me?
Yes.
You know, I would love to
Do
tell
it.
everybody
Yes.
that. It's cool.
It's so
Good. I think
cool.
everybody
Yes.
would really love that, because it was a miracle that happened to me.
Yes.
So, you know, towards the end, before I did get, you know, clean and sober, I was out of control. You know, it was an everyday event, and
is your
it was
wife
bad.
getting tired of it at this point?
She was, yeah. and I had promised her that I would try to get clean, and I would go on 3-4 days without it. But, you know, a little voice in your head, you know, you'll be back, you know, you'll be back. And And I did, I went back every single time. And then I'll never forget it. I never forget it. February 8th, 2000, my wife was 6 months pregnant. She's a school teacher. And I was in the masonry business. I actually had my own business. I still do. Okay. Had my own masonry business for 2 years while I was drinking and partying.
So she couldn't get fired from your boss.
No, I couldn't get fired. And I was sort of like functional,
Yeah,
so I was able to sort of get up in the morning super hungover, get to work, make a couple dollars, enough to really, party on for that day, and that weekend. And my wife was bringing a little bit of money too. She was a school teacher, like I said. So I never forget it. It was a cold day. It was a cold day. It was February 8th, and I wasn't busy. So the masonry slows down in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So I was partying early. Yeah, so I started probably around 10:30 that morning, and she came home at 3:30, and unfortunately I wasn't best. Yeah, it's a little embarrassing, but I'll tell you. She opened the door, and there I was, in my state of stupor, and she just looked at me, and it was our ultrasound appointment that day for my son now. I didn't know at the time. She was 6 months pregnant, and I said, well, we're going to go to the ultrasound, appointment. She said, I never forget. She looked at me, she said, you're not going. You're a disgrace. That's the word she used to me. And I was. Didn't really want to admit it at the time because I was intoxicated, And she left. She walked out the door. She wouldn't let me go. And, I went upstairs and I looked in the mirror. And normally, a lot of people with addiction issues, we don't look in the mirror because we know what we look like. There's a lot of regret that comes with this. There's a lot of anxiety that comes with addiction. So you avoid it, right? You avoid it. It's more powerful. It's easier to avoid it, right?
Yeah.
You'll make up some excuse. I looked in the mirror. This warm feeling, I'll never forget. It came over my head, my shoulders, and my chest area only. And I'm not sure why it didn't go down the rest of my body. Maybe it had to do something with my heart. But I will never forget the feeling of relief leave my body. I felt anxiety. I felt burden. I felt this selfishness leave. Now, I'm going to push on your shoulders. This is an addiction all the time. It's always a weight that you feel. It's in your mind. It's on your body. I felt it leave. It was gone. And I knew it was gone. And I'll tell you why I knew it was gone. This is why I tell everybody. We have a subconscious, right? It's that little voice in our head. So I had tried to get clean 2 times before, actually before I met my wife. And I failed miserably. I went 40 days, I think, one time, and it was the hardest 40 days. No rehab, no AA, cold turkey. That's how I am. It's for me, I'm a type A, go-get-em guy. But the addiction obviously got a hold of me, and I kept going back to it. So the time that it left my body, there was no little voice in my head. And I knew it was for real. I knew it because it was not there.
What do you think it was?
Oh,
What was that? Some would say it was God.
Yeah. Some people said it was the Holy Spirit. Some people say it was, what's that word they used? An epiphany, Yep. I think, you and I talked about Joe Dispenza and our brain waves and the energy that's around us and how it's so powerful. Our brain is so powerful. When I was in addiction, I did feel like my life was more than what I was looking at. Okay. I felt that in my body. I felt like, John, this is not for you. You can't be this. Right. Is this your legacy? That you're going to die drunk? Yep. What are people going to say about you? So that was going through my mind multiple times. I just couldn't beat it. Right. So maybe something, just recalibrated. Yeah. A higher power came to me and said, maybe this dude's worth it.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy's worth it. Because I don't know why it happened to me. Because I meet a lot of addictive people, and they're struggling. And I feel sometimes like I don't want to tell them the story because I never went to rehab. I never went to a meeting. I was in a bar with my wife having dinner 2 weeks later. Not an issue. She said, John, are you okay? I'm like, let me describe it like this. Imagine you're a 7-year-old. Would you ever think about drugs or alcohol? No, of course not. God, thank God you wouldn't, right? No. So that's how I am. So I was just in Ireland in July with 24 people that all partied. They're like, you cool? I'm like, dude, I'm cool. Yep. It was taken from me. It was a miracle.
That is awesome.
So, and I'm here now,
I know.
right?
And I'm fired up. How many years sober?
So it'll be 19 years in February. So February 8th is when the higher power, the energy came to me, and the 9th was my first day of sobriety. And I was so fired up that I was like, oh, so what's my new life gonna be like? Because I didn't know. So for 2.5 to almost 3 decades, I had been partying. Yeah. Now, in the beginning, it wasn't every day, but I really didn't know what it was like to go a month.
Right.
You know, a year? That was unheard of.
Yeah,
so it was cool.
We have to take a break. Yeah, we'll take a break, but we're going to come
Getting
back.
fired up.
You're not done. So, and you had a moment, you know, you had a moment, right? But you also had a moment that inspired you for this. So
yeah, that was cool.
We're going to talk about that when we get back.
Okay.
All right, so
cool.
stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Morning Coffee.
Awesome.
Cost. The #1 nursing program in all of New Jersey. More than 70 programs of study, including selective admissions. With record enrollment. A premier partnership with Rowan University. Transfer options with numerous universities. 4-year degree options on our campus. Rowan College at Gloucester County. Now you're thinking.
Choosing Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away, 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no-obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to create a better visitor experience.
Improve our workflow.
Attract new customers. That's when Fast Signs recommended Fleet Graphics.
Yeah, now business is rolling in. Get started at fastsigns.com.
What do I want to be when I grow up? Maybe a musician? A veterinarian? Maybe an equestrian? A mommy? Well, why not be all these things and more? Consider joining me, Dr. V, with friends and
Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I'm here with the head Inspyr of Inspyr Gear, John Cawley, and he just told us a fantastic story of how you beat alcohol addiction.
Yep.
Yourself, with no help.
No outside help. No.
Right. This epiphany came over you. And
yeah, it was
left
wild.
and
Yeah.
Boom, you started to become a very successful person after that. And you had a moment, right?
Yes.
So you also had a moment for this. Let's get into Inspyr. So you're a Mason.
Yes.
And then you got a sock company.
I know, it's crazy,
it's
right?
Like kind of weird, right? So where did this all start?
So 14 years had gone by from the time I got sober that I was feeling like I was missing something, like sort of paying it forward, right? I wanted to pay it forward for the life lottery, as I call it, the life lottery that I won. I really did, and I don't know why, again, the miracle happened to me, but it did. So at 14 years had gone by, I built a very large masonry company. I developed a real estate development company, which I still own.
Nice. Did this all happen after you got sober?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I had $8 in my pocket that day when my wife came home, that moment that's it, it's all. She wasn't giving me any money. So I was at the end, I was at the bottom, and I've been doing nothing but going upward because of the sobriety and my new life, my new life.
A new mind and more time, right?
Yeah, more energy spent in the right direction. I still have this addictive personality, but now it's about making a difference in people's lives.
You're addicted to making a difference.
Right, exactly.
You're addicted to working out and being physically
Yeah, yeah, that really got me through that. Part of my journey is all about fitness, absolutely. But, living a life of gratitude is very important. Yeah. So I didn't live that as an addictive person. You're very selfish. So, I really felt that I wasn't paying it forward for this. It's so powerful. So when I go to heaven, because I believe in heaven, when I go to heaven and I see God, and God's going to say, hey, man, I gave you that new life. You did nothing with it.
Oh, yeah.
What am I going to say then?
I'm not going to let you
I'm
in.
not going, yeah, right, to close the gate on me.
Close the gate.
Right?
up.
So 13 years, well, 14th year had gone by. My wife and I, now we had 3 kids now, and we had never gone away without the kids. We're like a herd, right? We go together. That's cool, and I love that, right?
Yeah.
But there's moments, right? There's moments you need a little away time. So my wife said to me, and I'll never forget, at the island, she's like, look, we got to get away. I got to get away. Open up that computer and find us a place to go on the weekend. Yep. So I said, you know what? You got it. So I found Virginia Beach. It was close. We could drive to it. So let's head down there. We'll just go chill out. We'll get my mom to watch the kids for a few days. So we went down there. And this is when it all came together, when it came to me what I was going to do. I really couldn't figure it out, what I was going to do to pay it forward. Walking along, so now I love coffee, right? I've got, now I'm a coffee guy. Water and coffee is about all I drink. So I have my coffee, and we're walking down, and I see this retail store in the Strip in Virginia Beach, and it had all these T-shirts, right? And I get it, you're down in retail area, and it had a really negative print on it.
Tell me what it was.
Yeah, I got to tell you, because I'm an Eagles guy, so I'm going to tell you what the shirt was.
Okay.
It's a New York Giants fan and a Dallas Cowboy fan, and it was imprinted on the T-shirt. It had these oversized helmets and these oversized fists, and they were each giving each other the finger.
Okay.
I get it. Okay.
All the kids to see in the
Well,
toilets.
that's
Isn't that
Krista.
nice?
That's exactly it. So I look around and I see all these kids, and I said to my wife, I said, look what they're looking at. Look at this. This is cool. Like, we're selling this, and I get it.
Yeah.
We want to make some
Funny.
money. But I was, what was I at the time? 48 at the time, 49. I get it.
Yeah.
But the 10-year-old doesn't get it. The 8-year-old thinks that's cool. So I said, you know what I'm going to do, Joe? Joanne, her name is. I said, you know what I'm going to do, Joe? I'm going to put entrepreneurial messages on T-shirts. That's how I'm going to pay it for. I'm going to get inside these little guys, their heads early. Success is a choice. Be inspired. Be courageous, right? They were my first 3 shirts. And we're going to get them started early. But you know what happened is, it morphed into so much more than that, So
Good for you.
that's where good for me, right? Exactly. Good for everybody, right? The bigger we are, the more people we can help.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
So you
Bottom line.
You start with T-shirts.
We did. Shared a table at the Philadelphia Craft Show in Chestnut Hill with my buddy Matt Paul Basketball. I said, Matt, can I just use like half your table? I got these 5 T-shirts that I want to ask people. Right? You got to test things a little bit.
Yeah. What a great place to do it.
Yeah, right. There was thousands of people, and people loved it. They did. They loved the idea. Moms loved it, right? So that was my idea. Well, look, your child's going to wear this, and we'll get them started in the right track, right? Being their own boss, maybe. But even just have that mindset that anything is possible. And but then I realized, in business, you have to sometimes persevere or pivot. T-shirts were a dime a dozen. They really weren't opening up a lot of doors for us.
Right.
People are like, yeah, that's cool, but I can kind of get that anywhere.
Yep.
So then, it's a great another part of the story is some little guy comes up to me at a little event that we were doing and said, hey, Mr. Cawley, why don't you put your messages on socks? Hey, man, that's a nice little idea you got there, buddy.
You should be getting a percentage. Cool.
I don't even know who the kid is, Krista. I can't
Isn't it funny
remember.
That's what made this.
Yeah, isn't that wild? He's like, why don't you put your messages on socks? Now, he didn't come up with never quit, work hard. But he's like, why don't you use socks? Because everybody wears socks. I'm like, you know what, bud? They do.
Yeah.
They do. And really talking about the socks is, it was kind of his idea,
Yeah.
So I kind of took it into that and built it into a model.
So funny.
Yeah, right? But I wanted to put them on the back of the socks. That was really, really important. Because think about it, I could put the message anywhere.
Yep.
It was really important to me to have the person wearing the sock, that little trigger in their mind, because that subconscious we talked about, that little self-doubt that sometimes creeps into our minds. Well, we are that little reminder to not allow that negativity. Like, I'm wearing my never quits, man, I'm not giving up.
Right.
No, I need that little trigger. So I put it on the back, though, so that other people could read it as well.
Yep. Like, what if,
Right.
you're the guy at the gym and his 41st day, and you're like, as soon as I get done this workout, I'm going to the bar.
Right.
And he reads that.
Right? Yeah.
That could be the
It could be.
differentiator in his life.
It could be. Well, and let's just think, if no one had it, then there is no opportunity for that to be a trigger. So maybe somebody is going to read that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I won't, I didn't come up with that idea myself. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, he talked about autosuggestive thinking.
Yes.
Like, you and I, right? Very positive people. We surround ourselves with that positive environment.
Yes.
Good chance we're going to be positive.
Yes.
So I thought, well, if I can share this message with a lot of people, build a community around the message, and then they'll share it, You know, one person can make a difference. I know 100 people, you know 100 people.
Yeah.
If 10 of those share our message and they do the math, we can make
And it's
it.
momentum.
We can make a
Then
difference.
you're changing the world. You're
Why
changing
not?
the universe.
At least I'm trying.
You're changing the level of energy that's out there.
Yep.
All right, so you just went through some marketing rebranding. Now look,
Yeah.
this didn't just like, you didn't just like make a sock and then it just started selling and everything was great. There was some,
Not at all.
we're not going to get too far into it, but starting
right.
a business and getting it to the point where it is now is not easy.
Not easy at all.
No.
No, and I started with zero knowledge of this business, zero. So, you know, just
What did you do to get knowledge?
You know, I went on the internet. I really did. I learned, I read, and I made mistakes. Yes. Obstacles are in our lives all the time, and I made mistakes, and obstacles were created through those mistakes, but I just kept pushing. So I did go online, and I met a broker in San Diego, and she helped me with my first line. She helped me to develop. She was a wonderful person. She really took me under her wing a little bit and said, hey, look, this is what you have to do. This is the things that you need to do. So I was able to come out with my first line. My buddy and I, we built my first website. Right, so I didn't know how to build a website. I didn't know anything about e-commerce. Nothing.
Right. You're
I'm a
selling
stonemason.
online.
I'm a stonemason. Well, now I'm online, the
Help
big
you build
time.
your house.
Yeah, I'll build a nice wall for you, but
Exactly.
build a sock company. I didn't know. So it was really just learning and learning. You got to fill your mind with this knowledge.
Do you ever feel like when you're pursuing this and getting it to the point where it is now, because you feel like it's in a good place,
It is.
did you ever feel like quitting?
You know,
But then you just looked at the socks.
yeah, no, I never really did.
Good.
You know, I just think that if you do quit, then why did you start? You know, why did you get started in the first place,
not
is
a
to
lot-
quit?
Not everybody has that mentality.
They don't, and it's not easy, but you can develop that mentality. There's a lot of stuff you can do. But you know what really keeps me going too is something that I saw on LinkedIn. And you've probably seen it, right? It's this guy, and he's got a big pick, right? And he's in a gold mine.
And the gold is right.
Yes, and it's only 6 inches away, so that
And
keeps
he's
me.
walking away.
He
and
quit.
The gold is
right there.
1 more inch away.
Right.
And he's like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm not going to keep going.
But it's not about the money with this.
No.
No, because I'm successful in my other
Yeah, right.
companies, so I didn't really need to do this.
Yeah.
But that's a good analogy of
Absolutely.
why I don't quit. Because,
Like, what if?
well, you know what? I have so many people in our community, right? I have a great ambassador team. I work with a lot of nonprofits, and I'm making a difference in people's lives. So what if I do quit? Then what happens to them?
Right, exactly.
Where do they go?
That's the part
Dude, you quit, and you're telling us not to quit?
Yeah, you fell
I'm
there.
not quitting.
Right.
Nah, I'm gonna keep going. I
All right,
love it.
so
Well, I
this-
love it.
I don't know what your packaging looks like before, but this looks like, a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, it's we
Looks nice.
I brought in Evan DeWall as our product developer. He is a beast from Oklahoma City. He developed major
great.
brands, and he helped us develop. That's our new logo,
This looks like
actually.
a major brand to me.
It is. It is. You know, going back to didn't know anything, so I made these mistakes with packaging, colors, fonts, every little thing. And I had to figure out. And then you get to a certain point of your abilities in life. And, look, you have to be a little bit vulnerable. I didn't know everything.
Right.
And I want this to happen. So was I going to just keep throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks? Or am I going to go out and get some real professionals who know branding, who know this business? So that's what I did.
That's what Shark Tank people do, right? That's why they're doing it.
Yeah,
They got it to a certain point.
Right, and then they
can't
need
get
some
it.
help.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid to ask for help.
exactly.
No, absolutely not.
Good for you.
Thank
So
you.
you also have so you got like a crew sock. Is this called a crew sock?
That is a crew sock, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and then you got a different kind of sock, which I like these.
Yep,
And these
yep.
are
A lot of moms like those. They're ankle or running
Ankle socks.
socks. They're all moisture wicking. So that's another thing I learned. We work with a lot of athletes.
yeah.
So they didn't want cotton. Our original socks had some cotton in it. Cotton absorbs. Feels nice, but it absorbs. So, 80% of our markets are fitness people.
Yep.
There's 20% are people overcoming obstacles in their life, either health or their medical reasons or an addiction.
Yeah.
So they buy our product. We know this from our data. So, we took it up another notch. So we made it more of an elite athletic type sock. But it is for everybody. I mean, anybody can
The
wear it.
message too. It's got to be a quality sock.
It
Right? It can't get a
absolutely.
hole in it. Every-
Right, we have padding on the heels, the toe, the Achilles. We have an arch support. We have a mesh breathing area, right? So heat
see that.
rises. You want that to release from the sock. You don't want to get
And this
overheated.
is great because when you're,
Thank
this
you.
says-
I almost forgot that.
This says journey onward on
Yes.
the show because I'll tell you, sometimes when I'm going to the gym and I'm putting my socks on, I'm still thinking, Should I go?
There you guess. Yes, Krista. Krista gets it right away. She gets it right away. So what about the line, though? What's the line signify? And you'll see a line on the packaging. I want you to think about that for a second.
I don't know.
It's on a journey.
Forward, keep going.
It's a starting point.
Okay.
It's the starting line. So in the
Oh,
morning.
the finish line, the starting line, yeah.
Yes, so in the morning you look down, journey onward, that's my start.
Oh, right, like you're about to go start a race.
Right, so you would wear
Like
it,
you're gonna
obviously
go
you would
like
look
that.
down that with journey
Yes.
onward or onward journey, it's up to you. It might not work with the message
I see
if you
that.
mix them around.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
quit
so-
never would be a good one.
Quit never, no,
Fine,
no.
never quit and quit never
That's
works.
the uninspired,
Your word on the road,
yes.
If your word on
Could
the
be a
road.
little bit of an issue, but I
Right.
brought our two top sellers.
Okay.
Work hard is always going to be, so we have a foundational words that we'll always have,
Right.
and we'll just change up the colors. So work hard, train hard, hustle hard. Oh, this is our work hard. This is actually a promotional.
Okay.
So I just got these yesterday.
Very nice.
So
I like that.
our foundation is socks. And we understand that. You can't just throw a lot of stuff, right?
Right.
I'm not going to come out with a coffee mug tomorrow because it doesn't fit with the whole vertical line of apparel, right?
Yes, exactly.
So, but we will morph it into, more products as well. But this is just it's not available.
Okay.
But I did bring something for you later, though.
Well, it's got to be now because we're about to end our
Are we
show.
ending? Oh, I'm not leaving.
You don't have
Oh,
to leave.
no,
but
no,
you
no,
don't
no.
have to
I'm
leave,
having
you
too
just
much
have
fun.
to stop
I just have to get off the TV. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Well, I did
What did
bring
you
you,
bring me?
well, I brought you our ladies. It's a ladies cut. So,
Yes.
and I don't know a ton about that, so I'm learning about that
Yeah,
cut as well.
very
So
good,
it says, obviously we have the I believe,
Yes.
and on the back it says achieve. So achieve and believe.
With the I accentuated because it's all about you.
Yeah, it's our mindset.
It is.
Yeah, you have a decision to make every day.
Give me that.
You got it.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
It's so much
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me be here. I mean, you're part of the family now.
Awesome.
We are.
So am I going to come to the Shore House and stay for a couple weeks?
Absolutely. Whoa, 2 weeks. Wait a second.
No, but you.
How about a long weekend?
I just wanted before we wrap.
Yes.
At the point where you were at your lowest.
Yes.
You got $8.
I had $8 in my
Okay,
pockets.
Just tell us some things about your life and what it's like now.
It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Every morning I wake up with a feeling of gratitude. I really do, and I say my affirmations in the morning. Today's going to be a great day, and I'm going to make it a great day. So I never had those feelings in my life before. So when you have this inner power, you just want to help people. Because think about it: the more self-purpose and self-worth that you build in yourself, the more likely you are to help other people. So I live that life now. So I'm so blessed. I really am.
You have a second home.
I do.
It's not all about material
It's
things,
not
but
all about
to
material
be able
things.
to go down there with your children.
I had nothing.
and Give them. You had
Nothing. No, now I have nothing but memory, wonderful memories that we are building. Yeah, I built a beautiful home down the beach. You know.
build it.
No.
Okay.
So no, I bought the lot and then I had
You
something.
built the wall in the
No,
front.
I didn't have time for that. No, my masonry companies are pretty good size, so I don't have a ton of time to do
But
that.
look, and we have this conversation about money often at the studio, and I say,
Right.
you know what, it's not all about
No,
money, but
no,
at the same
no.
time, money makes your life, it enhances your life, and it allows you to do the things like you're doing,
Yeah.
right? It allows you to create a stock company to give to people. To
Well,
give back.
absolutely. If I had no money, I couldn't have started the
Right,
company. Yeah,
exactly.
so I'm
It
able
allows
to
you to
do
give
that.
back.
It does.
Money allows you to give back to people that
It does. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap.
We
It
do?
was so nice to come.
Yeah, thank you so
Have you
much.
on
I
the show.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much. And tell us where we can go to get more information to buy these socks.
Yeah, so you could obviously go on to inspyregear.com, but if you want to reach out to me, you can go to info@inspyregear.com. I do love to do talks. I love to go to high schools, colleges, and tell people my story. So that'd be cool. We're looking for some retail partners as well. We are 90% online, but we would certainly love to talk to some retail folks, and info@inspyregear. But it'd be really cool if everybody could go to Inspyr Gear on Instagram and Inspyr Socks on Facebook. I know it's a little different, but Facebook wouldn't let us change our name.
Okay.
So what am I going to do?
Inspire socks. So you got to go with the
You'll
website.
find us. You'll find us.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for
Krista.
inspiring us this morning.
Yeah, I
And
hope I did.
Stay tuned on Morning Coffee because we'll be back with more shows.